Namaste, my friends. Mascha here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the first live and with that first live musings with friends installment, the first installment on my channel in 2021. Before I introduce my friends and the topic of our discussion today, of our chat today, I just wanted to take a quick moment to wish you all and your loved one a very, very happy new year. I hope so much that you had lovely New Year's celebrations welcoming 2021. As you can see from the title of this live and the thumbnails, I have invited two of my friends to join me today to do a video response to the hashtag Dating the Terror 2020 created by beautiful Candy from Candy Soul and Soil channel. So my first guest today is Chris, and you all know Chris from at Elemental Cartomancy. And Chris is one of the kindest people I know. He's very supportive and a very active member of our community here on YouTube. And he is always extremely generous with his time. I adore him and I can listen to him for hours. Chris is an amazing and experienced tarot reader and is passionate about doing live readings on YouTube on his channel and on his friends' channels as well. So I love his channel. His channel is wonderful. And my second guest today is Mendy. Mendy is a dear friend of mine who has been a huge support to me in 2020. I love her to bits, as you know. Mendy, most recently, she got me to do the depth year for 2021 and to reflect on my mindset for 2021, for which I'm beyond grateful. Mendy's channel is The Artistry of Tarot. Both of the channels, Chris's and Mendy's, I will link up on the end of our discussion today. And I love everything about her channel, her walkthroughs, her thoughts, hearing her reading cards, and of course having her on my channel. So let's now all welcome my friends Chris and Mendy. Hi Chris, hi Mendy, Happy New Year.
Hi Mascha. Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Yes, Mascha, you almost brought a tear to my eye there. You almost had me coming on to the screen with a tissue.
No, that's why I removed you from the screen, so it gives me a moment to really to tell everyone how much I adore both of you and your channels. And yeah, but yeah, so before we dive into our conversation, let's quickly just say hello to all of our friends who are joining us today for our live. So I'll just quickly scroll back, but I saw that Neem was there quite early. Hello Neem, hello Justin. Lucy's Reflections, hello Lucy, how are you? Jillie from Little Zen Crone is here, and Gerald is here from the Hermit Mage. Who else we have here? Justin, I said hello to Justin already, and scrolling. Jan, Aussie Jan is here. And Simon, hello Simon, I hope you had a good new year. Sandra is here, Tycon. Kylie, hello Kylie. Maharat, Lanois, Wandering Mountain, Bardic Path. Hello, welcome to my channel. I think it's the first time you're joining me on my channel.
That's Jamie Kelly, Mascha.
Yes,
that's her new channel. She's going to start doing videos.
Yay, that's wonderful. Joe, hello Joe. Jonathan Daly, hi Jonathan, aloha. Did I miss anyone?
I see Jen's Balanced Tarot. Did you get her? She came in.
Hi, just popping. Yeah, hello, Jen.
And Becca just came in.
Hi, Becca. Well, Happy New Year to all of you who are still on the 1st of January, but also even on the 2nd of January, still Happy New Year. And Chris and Mendy, before we get into the hashtag to do our response to Candy, hi, Ginger Faye. And Chantal Charm, hello, welcome. Yeah, can you please tell us about your channel a little bit and about your vision for 2021 when it comes to your channel?
Mendy, I'll let you go first.
Okay. So my channel is not very directed. It's a lot of walkthroughs and just, it's almost a year old. It'll be a year old this month. This month, it'll be a year old. I've got to check what the date is, when my birthday is.
Congratulations.
But, Yeah, I just realized that. So I didn't really have much direction and kind of went all over the place. But this year, I've got some ideas. I've set up a regular live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern time that I'm going to start doing a little exploring how cards interact with each other. And I've got some ideas on how I'm going to do that that I'm still fine-tuning and working with. And I'd like to do a little bit more reading. I did my first couple live readings with you, Mascha, and with Jade from Terror Your Truth. And even, not on my channel, but I read a little bit with you, Chris, on Robin's channel, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So I'd like to do some more live readings, step out of my box a little bit, my comfort zone, and do that a little bit more this year. That's about it.
That's exciting. And the mind 2021 as well, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Then the whole mindset 2021 is really, it's all about being focused and staying focused on the areas of study that I'm, that I've mapped out.
And we will be doing, like, on your channel, we will be doing more updates with our friends. Yeah.
Yes. June or January 10th. We're scheduled for the next update.
11th for me. Yeah.
Oh, right. 11 for you.
I just wanted to say hello, very quick hello to Naomi Hewitt and Sherry. I did say hello to Sherry. Candy is here. Candy, we're doing a VR. In a moment, we will begin with our VR to your hashtag to Dating the Tarot 2020. And Hope is here, my friend from Australia as well. All right, Chris, can you please tell us a little bit more about your Elemental Cartomancy channel and the direction you are intending to take your channel in 2021, still last year.
Sure. So my channel's not really not been going that long. I think it's only about 3 or 4 months old. So I'm still sort of finding my feet with it, as in finding my feet with what I want to do and what direction I want to take it in. I'm enjoying doing the roundtable readings. I've done 2 of them now. And I think Gerald, who's in the chat, the Hermit Mage, is going to be coming on with me next to do a 3rd one. And yeah, so that's something that I'm quite kind of looking forward to getting up and running. I don't think it's, I think we'll maybe be doing, like, I'll do 1 a month or something like that if I can. And just kind of more of the same of what I'm doing, like my passion is for reading the cards. I'm really, really kind of into reading the cards, and that's what excites me and stimulates me, and that's what I like to do. I don't do walkthroughs so much, but I have to say, like, the few walkthroughs that I have done, I've really enjoyed doing. Like, if I get a deck that I'm really kind of excited about and I'm really interested in, it's really fun, and it's a good experience to actually kind of get your teeth right into it and read up on it and kind of take that experience to the camera. So I might do a bit more of that as well. But yeah, I'm still pretty open to kind of trying new things, I think.
That's great.
I love your round tables, Chris. I think that is an amazing idea.
Yeah. And your readings are amazing too.
Yes, they are.
And you sound.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's really kind of you.
Yeah, right. So with the hashtag, and friends, you're welcome to join us. And Jamie saying that she's here on her channels. Jamie and Wandering Mountain, both of you are here. So you're welcome. And B is here. Hello, B. Mikala Sunflower. Right, so with Hendy's hashtag Dating the Tarot 2020, the hashtag is all about talking about decks that have been somewhat in the shadows and never made our favorite list, right? So more like underdog decks, and it's more about dating decks. So we are going to go on 10 dates with our more kind of underdog decks, right? So the first one is the Cheapskate Date. Who did you date because they were cheap as chips, and what was the outcome? Do you want to take, because mine is not a tarot, so Chris or Mendy, you take the first one.
Maybe I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I clearly did not understand the nature of this. I know I've got all of my decks for the questions, but I didn't realize these were supposed to be decks that weren't favorites, because my first one has been on my favorites list before. And it is the Tarot de Maria Celia, which is my cheapest deck that I've ever purchased. I think these little tins from US Games usually run, what, about $18 or something like that. And I somehow managed into a sale or something, and I got this for under $14. I think it was 12. I think it was $12.99 actually. And this was my very first Marseille. So it has appeared as my on my favorites list for favorite Marseille decks in the past, because it was my carry everywhere deck. So I love the size of it, and I love the colors. And this was the first real Marseille that I purchased and started reading with. And it's just beautiful. It's by, now I'm forgetting his name. Hold on. Leonard Jim Narciso. And he is a Filipino artist, and he has he has a Lenormand that kind of goes really well with this deck, and some other tarot decks out. He also did the Vanessa Tarot, which I have as well. But this one was, I really wanted a Marseille and didn't know what Marseille to get. So I bought the cheapest Marseille I could find. And I love it. And it used to go with me everywhere. And now I have a different deck that I carry with me everywhere. But this stayed in my bag all the time for a long time. Yeah, and it's also my favorite in a tin. I'm not a big tin user, but since it's so small and in a tin, I carried it with me everywhere, and it was easy to carry in the tin. So my favorite in a tin too.
Oh, it's adorable. Yeah.
I love it.
So Chris, what's yours?
Mine's, it's kind of in a similar vein actually. So this wasn't my first Marseille, but my first Marseille was quite it's probably quite valuable. So I thought I need to get myself a Marseille that's cheap as chips that I can just fling about, do whatever I want with, So this was literally like the Cheapskate Date. Like this is the Fourier Tarot de Marseille. I got it because I think it was like £12 or something like that on Amazon. The colours are absolutely beautiful, so they are. So I like I say, I got it because it was cheap. I can riffle it to death. I can fling them about. I can really do whatever I want. I can carry it about. Doesn't matter. And it was for learning, because we've been doing like kind of Marseille study and stuff. And I thought, I don't really want to be using like rare decks or valuable decks to be kind of as a study tool, because I don't want them getting wrecked. So this was like, I got this for that purpose. But I love it. Like, it's the colours on it are so vibrant. Like the backgrounds and the pips and the colours and the majors. They're really, really nice. So it's kind of become one of my favourite Marseilles. Even though it was meant to be like a wee cheapie. So yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, I love that deck too.
Yeah, I got it actually initially because the magician had a dice on the table.
All right, that's it.
Yeah. That's kind of one of my things that I really do. And yeah, I love magician having dice on the table, but I love the brightness and the colored backgrounds as well. I just wanted to quickly say hello to Bijam and Real Simple Jada is here. Hello, Happy New Year to everyone joining in. If I've missed you, Kristen Louise is here. Hello, Kristen, how are you? And I think I did see Sugar Honey Iced Tea is here as well, and Jackie is here. So hello, everybody. Yeah, well, my Cheapskate Date, I went with the cheapest deck that I acquired in 2020. So it's not a tarot, but it's the Burning Serpent Oracle by Rachel Pollack and Robert and Place, of course. Yeah, so this one is more kind of Lenormand deck, and I really like it. I mean, I do like the woodblocky style of Robert and Place, but the little guidebook is lovely as well, and it's Rachel Pollack. And I got it actually for 12 Australian dollars, which is probably, if I in the US dollars, would be like 9 or 10 US dollars.
Mhm.
So, and I think this deck, well, it's probably going to be reprinted, but it's, when I got it, it was out of print, so I thought it was a really great bargain. So while it's Lenormandish, I haven't used it as a Lenormand. I used it more like as an oracle, and it's fairly new to me. I got it like in the way second half of 2020. Yeah, so this one is the red clover. I think they're quite lovely. And for the price I paid, so it's great. It's a great one to have. And I only started now reading Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom. I was living under a rock, so yeah. Right, so next date is the slow burner date, the one that you weren't sure about on first meeting, but over time you suspect it's turning to love. So Chris, you go first on this one.
Okay. Mine's is the Raven's Prophecy. So it's funny, like my kind of slow burnerness has been going on since even before I got this, because I've had my eye on this deck for years. Every now and then I'll look at it, and I was always put off by the orange borders. Is this in order? No, it's not. It just happens to be that the fool's first. Like the orange borders have always put me off, and I've always thought, like, could I get it and trim it? But then at the time I wasn't really big on small cards, so. But like I got it and I edged it in orange, the same colour as the borders, and I actually really kind of like it now. It's not one that I use very much, but when I do pick it up, it's like I get this really intense kind of connection with it. I use it for a couple of days. The other thing is the guidebook for it is really good. I really like the way she writes. Maggie Stiefvater that made this deck. So yeah, slow burner, and it's it's still going on. It's still, I'll pick it up, I'll use it, and then I'll put it back and it'll sit in a shelf for a while before I'll pick it up again. But definitely kind of just building up that connection with it, I think.
Yeah, I don't have this one, but I really love ravens and crows. So, and I've heard the guidebook is quite good for this one. Is it?
Yeah, aye. It is. It's really good. And like I say, I love the way she writes. Like she's got such a, I think it's quite conversational. Like when you're reading her book, she's she just you feel as though you're having a conversation with someone rather than you're kind of falling asleep reading endless text kind of thing. And it's just, I love the kind of simplicity of the deck. Like that's the Four of Swords. So that it's intended to be quite Rider-Waite-Smith in its meanings, but obviously the depictions are very different from the Rider-Waite-Smith. So if you like the Rider-Waite-Smith system, but you're looking for something different than like somebody lying down with the four swords, the three swords on the wall and the one sword beneath it. Do you know what I mean? It's a good deck for that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so Joe is saying that Wild Unknown is her slow burner. And for Jillie, it's The Sacred Bee and Anna Kay. For Kristan is Sosiboritos, I'm assuming Sasurabito, Terror by Katia Barrington. And what does Kenzie saying? The 4-book fiction series she wrote that goes with the deck is amazing. The Raven Boys.
Really? I didn't know there was I may have to look at that. I've always been turned off by the orange borders, but there's something about the images that is very compelling. I may have to look at that again.
Yeah. So what's your slower burner, Mendy?
So mine is rather new, but it is the Keymaster Tarot. And this deck I bought on a whim and then received and immediately took a disliking to. And I don't even remember what I disliked about it. I like the pips. I don't remember, but Jamie Kelly showed pictures of her edging the deck, how she edged the deck. And so I did that one night, which I don't generally edge decks, but I did it with this one. And as I did it, I really started to love it. And yeah, it really, I took a turn for me. Oh, I know what it was. It was the different color borders, because it had, for the pips, it has the black borders, and for the majors, it has the gold borders. And that was a turnoff for me. And like I said, it was impulse purchase. I really wasn't planning to buy this deck to begin with. And then when I got it, I sort of regretted it. But as I edged it, I started liking it more and more. And now I really love it. The cardstock is fantastic. And it's unlike any other deck I have, the art. And of course, I'm just obsessed with the playing card pips that also have the Marseille.
I love that. Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
That's what I love about Brut Tarot.
Yeah, but I like this better. I like this better. So this was definitely a slow start for me, but it's yes, wandering mountain bardic path. Jamie Kelly is a smart cookie.
Suddenly sorry, and she's asking what's a slow burn. I think Kenzie has got the wrong one. Kenzie has answered it. So yes, Sadhana, we're doing the hashtag dating the Tarot 2020. So we're talking about our tarot decks, some underdog decks, some of them are our favorites, but the one that we dated in 2020. And the slow burner is the decks that you were not sure about on the first meeting at first sight, but over time you suspect it's your relationship with the deck is turning to love. So that's that.
Yeah, I find these prompts hilarious, Candy. One, because the idea of dating just it's a different thing, and then the three of us are all in committed relationships. I don't know about you two, but it has been decades since I've dated anything. Literally decades.
I think actually it wasn't last year or a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Simon at the Hermit's Cave, he did a hashtag, what is it, Mary something tag? And I have a deck that I'm married to, but there were 3 decks. What was the hashtag? Simon, you here, you can remind us. Because you did I think you created the hashtag. Mary.
I'm curious because I may have to go back and look for that.
Do that. You can probably, so there was like a deck you married to, the deck. Yeah. No, I don't remember, but anyway. So my slow burner, the one that I wasn't sure about on first meeting, and then I'm falling in love with that. It's my Thor's Tarot. And actually, I'm planning to start the course in 2021. Yes, Mendy, it's my greenie. I love the bags. Yeah, at first meeting, I wasn't sure about that. We're familiar with those images, but I absolutely adore it now. Well, I'm falling in love with that. I can't say that I know how to read with it, right? So that relationship is developing with Thor's. I've created now the journal. I've done my year ahead reading with a Thor's deck. So that's for me. That's my slow burner date. Okay, so Simon said, wait, Snake Mirror Reward. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Thanks, Simon. He's going to post the link. I hope you post it. Sorry, Mascha.
No, it's all good. I think my award might have been Thor's at that time, but I don't remember.
Hold on, I've got to go let my dog in the bedroom. Hold on.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's the Thor's is my slow burner. Yeah, so Simon, if you have a link to your initial tag, please post it here, and I'll try to remember to put it in the description of the live once we finish here. Right, so the third date is the blind date. Because we are impulsive humans and sometimes we just rush in. Who did you date without looking or thinking?
It's your turn to go first, Mascha, isn't it?
Yeah. You decide among yourself. I'm going last today since I'm beating.
That's not fair. So this is the blind date one?
Yeah, the blind date, yeah. So the one without looking or thinking.
For me, it's the light and shadow. I purchased this. Jonathan Daly was doing a live walkthrough. So I'm going to blame Jonathan. This one's on him. And I purchased it before he even got out of the majors. And it's actually a 2-deck combo. So it's got this, it's very similar. They're slightly different. Oh, I'm getting glare. I'll show you. I actually like the dark better, the shadow better than the light. But this was a total, like I said, I purchased it. I was clicking buy before he even got through the majors. It was a total impulse buy. And actually, I mean, really, if you look at my shelves, probably 80% of these are impulse buys, were blind dates. But this is my most recent, I think. And I didn't even see all the cards before I was buying them. And honestly, how it's turned out is I haven't even used the deck yet. It's still all in order because it's never been shuffled. And I don't know. I have a hard time with the idea of some of the, I think some of the spreads you're supposed to do with this, you combine the two and look at how thick those decks are. I have no idea how we'd shuffle these two decks together and use them all at the same time. So I have to, it's got a pretty good guidebook by John Matthews. So I'll have to spend some time with it, but and I just dropped half the cards. It was a total blind date and it's a to be determined at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kristen was saying that her blind date was Tarot de Paris that she bought recently. I remember her talking or mentioning it somewhere in a group, right? So which deck was your blind date, Chris?
Mine's was Le Tarot de Marseille, and it was quite literally a blind date because my friend Ben, who's here in the chat, got this for me and sent me it, and I didn't know that I knew he'd sent something, but I didn't know what it was that he'd sent. But I'd kind of had my eye on it anyway, so it was a really good, a really good kind of find on his part. So these are the backs. I think we probably all know this one because it's one that's been going about for a while. But yeah, it's got this lovely matte cardstock. It's kind of like a combination. It's supposed to be a combination of Marseille and Waite Smith. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure if that's, you know, I don't even care that it's a combination between Marseille and Waite Smith. That's not it's not the amalgamation of the two systems that gets me. I just love the deck. It's got beautiful kind of pastel colours. I love the images. I do think it's really clever the way they've done it. You know, yeah, I just really, really like it. It's funny because at first, when I first read with it, I did Justin Michael's Christmas spread that he did with Jillie, who's just popped up on the screen as I said that. That was freaky. And it gave me, for what makes me sad at Christmas, it gave me the Two of Cups, and I was like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know how to read that, and, you know, is this deck just going to throw me like doozies like that all the time? But actually, like, the more I read with it, like, I'm really kind of enjoying it. Sorry, I'm just flashing these cards. It's like one of those memory tests where you do that and you've got to try and remember what it is. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I love this. It's amazing.
It's a nice deck. I like it too.
It looks like many of in the community, many of our friends love it. Sandra loves it. Jonathan still needs to get it. Yeah. Jillie loves it, yeah. And
it was the blindness of it. It was, you know, it was the fact that Ben got it for me that makes it all the more special. Do you know what I mean? So that's the blindness of the date is actually one of the things that I really like about it, and that kind of makes it more special.
It's one of the best decks for Simon.
Yeah.
And Gerald, his blind date was Tarot Physics. I've never heard of this deck.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're into that, Gerald, you might like the Quantum Tarot. That's one that I've got. I've not heard of the Tarot of Physics, though.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, and Lucy's vintage buys were just above if Renault's decks. Yeah. Right. My blind date, and I kind of had to think on this one, but I think it was actually the fifth tarot. And if Hope is still here, I got it actually from Hope. And this deck has an extra suit for the spirit, right? So it got all the elements we're familiar with, the earth, fire, air, water, plus spirit. And when I saw that, I thought it would be perfect deck for my yoga practice, and like it's kind of healing deck, right? When I work with yoga, Ayurveda, I work with 5 elements. I did show this one before on my channel, but it's really lovely. And I use it more as an oracle, really, because it's not really, it doesn't fit into 78 cards tarot system because we have extra suit added, right? So it's way more cards there. But they're just so beautiful. And yeah, I find this deck very soft, very gentle, very healing, but also very insightful. The guidebook is lovely, but I use it also based on the knowledge of the elements I have in my practice. Just have a look at the full card. I love the colors in this one. And Simon is saying that his blind date would be is it Cerise or Cherise, Tara? I just saw that you did the walkthrough recently, Simon. Sorry?
Cerise.
Cerise. Is it a French name?
So cerise is the French word for cherry, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. That's why I called Cerise, I guess. Yeah, I don't know French. I never learned French. And Justin is saying that he always wondered about the 5th spirit. For him, the mages are the 5th element. Yeah, so just some of the cards of the blind date for me, and this is the 5th tarot. Candy loves the deck.
Quickly for Gerald, that's the quantum tarot there. That's the box that you're looking for. So it's Lo Scarabeo, and it's one of these kind of pull-up boxes. I won't go through the cards and all that, but I just wanted to quickly show him what one I was talking about.
Hello, Asha. Whispers Healing with my ancestors, Asha Light Eagle. Our 4th date is the Rebound Date. And it's the one that you keep going to break up with, but keep being pulled back together. You can go.
Go ahead, Chris.
Mascha, you need to tell us. You need to just pick one of them and tell us.
You pick one.
I'll be alternating.
For me, this is the Wildwood Tarot. I just don't find myself using this for 2 reasons. The first reason being the system is very, very different for me anyway. It goes by the wheel of the year. The majors are really quite different from what, the standard majors. And I'm kind of put off, I think, mainly because of laziness, because I know that if to get into this and to use this deck, I'm going to have to do some research on how that works. Also, because it's not the best deck for modding, and I've modded mine, right? So that's what it looks like. That's what the backs look like. So you can see you've kind of got this white line along the bottom, and that bugs me. So it does. Like I like the backs of a deck to look nice, and I don't think that looks nice. And plus, I've done an absolute shitty mod job on this anyway. The trimming's terrible. Like if I hold it lightly like that, I'll probably have cards falling because they're different sizes and stuff. But every time I kind of go to I don't know, like just shove it in a cupboard out of sight and out of mind, I get pulled in by these images, and the images are stunning, like really, really nice. And it is a nice deck to read with, like if you're just pulling a couple of cards and you're not really caring too much about the different system. And I suppose that's why it's that kind of, what is this, Rebound? Yeah, that's why it's that kind of Rebound, because it's like, every time I go to get rid of it, I see the images and I'm like, oh, I actually really like it. So yeah, like a group of snakes there. No, I love my snakes. So yeah, Wildwood for me.
Yeah, for Jillie, it's Wild Unknown. And Simon was saying exactly what I was about to say. I never use my prefer Druidcraft. Yeah, I actually got Wildwood, I think, first, and then I got Druidcraft very soon after because I really like the artwork. But I use Druidcraft all the time. I actually have 2 copies. One is naked and one I kind of keep intact. But yeah, but Wildwood, I love, again, I love looking at it, but I never use it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I prefer the Druidcraft. So my rebound is the Majestic Earth. And I had this deck. I didn't get the Kickstarter, but I purchased it as soon as it became available to purchase after the Kickstarter. And at first I loved it, but then I never used it. And I also had what's the other scenic deck? The Augenblick, the square one. I never used that. I never even shuffled that. I never opened it. So I sold both of them because I realized scenic decks just probably weren't my thing. I needed more than just scenery. But then I was really sad that I sold this. Even though I didn't use it, I missed it. So I bought another copy. So it just came back. And I still am not using it, but I'm really happy I have it, and I'll never sell it again because I know that I feel like I'll miss it if I do. And it's a gorgeous, beautiful deck.
It's gorgeous.
And I may, at some point in time, use it again because the art is just beautiful.
Bye, Jamie.
Bye, Jamie. So, and I can just look at it forever and ever. It's so beautiful, but I don't read with it.
Yeah. Kristen is asking, she spaced out, what is a rebound deck? The rebound one, Kristen, is the one that the one you keep going to break up with, but keep being pulled back together. The one you want to break up with, but you can't do that.
You can't do it. Or even if you do, you take it back. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Asha was asking what's the subject. And the subject, Asha, we're doing a VR to Candy from Candy Soul and Soil on the hashtag Dating the Tarot 2020. So we're talking about 10 tarot dates of ours. Right, so my rebound is Chrysalis Tarot. And I've had it for a while. And when I read through this, and I really get really great readings, but I don't, because again, the suits are different. This deck is kind of have different unfamiliar imagery to me, right? But it's based more like on different mythological creatures, on medieval characters, otherworld characters. I think the backs are stunning. The art in this deck is stunning. That's the Empress, that's the Gaia. 3 of spirals. So again, the suits, we have the spirals, stones, mirrors, and scrolls instead of our familiar suits. But yeah, so I get, every time when I want to break up with it and pass it on, I look through the artwork and I just can't. Just have a look at the High Priestess, the Sorceress. It's just, the image is so beautiful, and I love that style of artwork. So yeah, that's why for me, the Watcher for the Queen of Mirrors, which is the Queen of Cups, I can't. Yeah, Simon is also saying crystal is gorgeous, but not one I reach for often. Yeah, same, but every time when I reach for it to pass it on, I can't. I just, yeah, 3 of scrolls is the swords. Let's have a look at this fox. I
love that.
I love it.
I've never properly looked at it before.
Yeah,
I don't have it. I would love, that's beautiful.
And I think maybe I should pull it a bit more often now, because when I got it, I was reasonably new to tarot, and I found it really difficult, with the different depictions and imagery and layering. We have 10 of spirals, so we have just have a look. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere, but it's just the one that. Yeah, I can't pass on, can't quite pass on. So I guess I get pulled back to it, every time when I touch it after I don't use it. So yeah, that's the rebound one for me. There is a question, I think, Mendy.
That's true, Candy. I do love the Star Tarot, and I can see where you see see a similarity there. Yeah, I may have to investigate that.
And it's a US game, so, but yeah, I really love it. I love the art. I don't read with that. That's kind of my Rebound Date relationship, I guess. The book is a must. Yeah, I've got the book as well, Simon.
Yeah, he was saying to me and Mendy, he would suggest getting the set that comes with the book. So I'll look into that. So the Chrysalis Tarot, yeah.
Yeah. I got the book separately because I think when I got the deck, they were still kind of writing the book, so it was like about to be published. So yeah, I've had it for a while. Our next one is the Surprise Love Affair Date, and it's the one that Mendy you will take, but it's the deck, the tarot deck that you thought would be just okay, but from first meeting, it was love at first sight that took you by surprise. So the Surprise Love Affair.
And this is actually another new one to me, but it's the Mystic Masters. And I purchased this. I really love Danny Mystic's channel. I love her energy. She just has got such great energy. And I saw what some of her videos about creating this deck, and I thought, oh, that's pretty, and I'll go ahead and order it. But I wasn't really sure that it was going to gel for me. But I love this deck. I absolutely love it. It is so much better in person than it is on video. It's just gorgeous, which she did with this. And that's another thing. It's, she took pre-existing art and then painted it herself. And it's kind of like a collage, but I believe that she did it all with watercolor and then digital manipulation. But it reads like a freaking dream. This deck just, it's such a great intuitive reader. It's RWS based, but I just get the best readings with this deck intuitively. It's fantastic. And like I said, I don't feel like it comes across in video as beautiful as it really is. So this was a huge surprise love affair for me, because I knew I would think it was pretty because I saw the images in her videos. I thought, oh, that's pretty, that's unique. But I didn't realize that it would just sing for me the way it does. And I think it's so much more beautiful in person. So. And the backs are gorgeous too. Let me show the backs.
Yeah.
Aren't those pretty?
Nice. What color are they, Mendy?
The backs are kind of like a taupey gray color.
Right, okay.
It's almost, it's very muted. It goes really well with the front because this is all 16th and 17th century art. So it almost feels to me, because, I love the old Marseilles, and it's definitely not a Marseille deck, but having the art from the time period when Marseille was really just starting and being birthed, it kind of has that feel, if that makes sense, that time, that old kind of time feel.
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting. Jillie and Sandra from The Whispering Well will be doing the VR to this year's also. Yay. Yeah. So what's the surprise love affair, Chris?
For me, it's definitely the Mibra Magical Tarot. Like, Sandy got me this as a birthday present, and when I opened it, it was always going to be special. Don't get me wrong, it was always going to be special because he'd got it for me as a gift. But when I first looked at it, I was like, it's like completely Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's just like these like unusual creatures take the place of the human characters that we normally see. And I was like, this looks really out there. This looks really unusual. Not sure how I feel about this. But then see, when I read with it, like it was during my live, and just the chemistry, like the connection with this deck was amazing. Like I got some, like I really enjoyed. These are the backs, and I really enjoyed doing the readings that I did that night with this deck. Yeah, it was just so it was like when at surface level when you look at it, I was like, oh, bit unusual, and then just the actual through using it, the connection that I had with it was great. And I got to read for our lovely Elle with this deck, so I did. So very special deck. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The Mipramig.
Beautiful. Our Aussie Jen is also planning to do the VR, which is exciting. Yeah, I would love to see all the VRs. Can you repeat the name of the deck again, Chris? Kenzie is asking.
Sure, it's the Mipramig Magical Tarot. So this is it here.
Yeah.
It's a Los Scarabeo, so it is. And the artist is Mipramig. That's his name. So yeah, that's it. It's really unusual, but like really nice. And it has this extra card called the Happy Squirrel, I think it is. And I'm always wary about extra cards in decks, and the Happy Squirrel came up, but I actually really like it as a card. I think the interpretation of it is it's like you need to approach this with a sense of humour, basically. You need to kind of just look at this lightly and not take things too serious. And if I remember correctly, it was when I was reading for Justin with this deck that the Happy Squirrel came up. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was. And yeah, it was just perfect for when it came up. So yeah, no, love this deck.
I love decks with the Happy Squirrel. Do you know what the Happy Squirrel comes from, Chris?
No.
It's from The Simpsons. There was a Simpsons episode where Bart got his cards read and they pulled the Happy Squirrel.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Now that you say that, I do know that. And I don't know if it's because I read it in the book or if that might actually be why Sandy got me this, because he loves The Simpsons and I hate it with a passion. So that might be what actually drew him to getting me this.
Well, I had to promise Chris Yao that I would put a Happy Squirrel in the Marseille deck that I'm working on.
Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah. Quick hello to Evie, Fairy Wren Whispers here. Hello, Evie, from my city here in Newcastle, and Mage Prometheus is here. Right, so my surprise love affair was actually the Yves Renoir Nicolas Convert Terra. And I put this one together with the Pensée because Mendy bought a Pensée by mistake, and I had to get the Pensée, and it's another Convert deck. But I thought, well, if I get the Pensée, of course I need to get the original because I never really had an original reproduction of a Convert Terra. And there are the backs. I do have a walkthrough side by side, I think, with the Pensée on my channel, so you can have a look if you want to have a look at like up close and proper definition of the cards. But yeah, for me, that was surprise love affair because I mean, I know I love Marseille, but when I got this one, I love pinks. So I really love the pink colors. I love how sharp the cards are, and it's a wonderful reproduction of a historic Marseille deck, 1760. And for me, well, it also was very special because when it comes to Terre de Marseille, we talk about Marseille style decks, right? So it's not the location where they originally were produced, but this one, Nicolas Convert Terra, was the first deck that was published in the city of Marseille. So clearly I had to have it. And that has become my surprise love affair for 2020, in 2020. So that's that. And yes, our next one is the Not My Type date. The one that you went on thinking it wasn't really your cup of tea, but what the hell, what happened? You can take this one, Chris.
Okay. So for me, it's the Ancien Grimaud Tarot de Marseille. This was the first Marseille that I got myself. I got it because I'm easily influenced and because these people were talking about Marseille. I wasn't a Marseille person before I got this deck. I bought this deck thinking, nah, it's going to be, who knows, maybe it'll be nice, but I'm not really sure. And now I love Marseille. I love this deck. These are the backs. The backs on mine are quite unusual. I'm actually thinking about getting a backup of this deck because this is so the copyright on this is 1963. It's quite a like white box, so I think it's quite like it's out of print anyway. I don't know how valuable or how rare it is, but I don't want to kind of mess this up. So I'm actually thinking about just getting a standard Grimaud on sale that you can get from Amazon France, just to kind of use and keep this one good. That's how much I've ended up loving this one. So definitely wasn't my type to begin with, but then I love it now. It's like kind of what kind of sparked my connection with Marseille, essentially.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's so special to have it like more as a vintage deck as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, that is, so you know how Simon longs for a Pam A?
Mhm.
I long for the original 1930 Grimaud. I don't know if you can see them. I've got so many Grimauds now. This is my oldest one. This one is from 1969. And I long for that with the kind of teal color. And that's my deck. But they go for like $900 if you're lucky now. So that will not be on my shelf anytime soon. All right. So my not my type. I have two. And they're my two Robert M. Place tarots. I knew I was not going, well, I thought I would like the Magnum Opus better. I kind of got lulled into the Sevenfold Mystery, and it's all Justin's fault because he did such an amazing interview with Robert M. Place, and I love listening to Robert M. Place talk. I've heard several of his talks now, and I really would like to go to New York and see him in person when he goes back to lecturing. And I love, he's such a wealth of knowledge, and I love, to hear him speak so much. And I love his book. I've got one of his books that I've read about a third of at this point, but the decks just don't do it for me. Plus, I'm a little irritated. I know these boxes are well loved, but they are so tight that I haven't even used these decks. Wait, is this the one? Is it this one or Magnum Opus? Yeah, it's this one. This is just from pulling the deck in and out of the box a few times. Can you see where it's taking the gilding off? So I just, the art just doesn't do it for me. And I know these are, super loved decks by so many people, but I just can't get into it. The only deck I have of his that I really enjoy using is the Japanese Lenormand.
The Ukiyo-e.
Yeah. And I love that. But these tarots just, they're not for me. And that was I knew it going into it, but I was, entranced by Justin's interview.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I love the Sevenfold Mystery, but yeah. Okay, my not my type date. I have two, but the one that I'm just going to mention, one of them is the Encore Tarot, but I'm not going to show the cards because I did mention this deck is in my 2020 favorites. And it was interesting. I really liked, and I only have one Ciro Marchetti's tarot, and that's the Encore, and I adore it. And I got it because of Mendy, of course, and I saw it on her channel, and I really loved the artwork, and I looked at the cards. But I've got so many messages, private messages from the community telling me that it wasn't my type of deck, which was quite hilarious. So yeah, but it is Ciro Marchetti's decks, yeah, you're right. They're not really my type, but Encore Tarot, I really love it with the softer muted colors, and the art is beautiful. I will be featuring it in my series side by side with RWS sometime soon in one of the kind of first 3 months in this year. So that's the one. But the second one was also because I got through Mendy's, and I also had messages about that it's not my type of deck. I think Mendy, you told me it's not my type of deck. And this is the Alice Terror. I will show you a few cards of this one. I have to probably make myself bigger on this one because it's a really special one for me. I really love the quirkiness of the art. I will be featuring it again. Probably it will be my next episode of my side by side with RWS, because I want to lay it out next with my Pixies original RWS. But I really love it. It's so well, I got plastic cardstock, so I can take it to the beach and I can play with it, and like when I do my readings on my little bath table in the bathtub. And I think it's really special.
I love that.
Yeah, when the creator, just have a look at the Page of Cups. Focus. Yeah. So this one, out of my most recent non-Marseille decks, it's kind of becoming my fast favorite. But again, it was, when I was buying it, I thought, well, plastic cardstock, I would like to have something a little bit more whimsical as well, added to my tarot library. But yeah, but I fell in love with this one now. But it's my, not my type deck that has turned into be very much of my type tarot.
It's funny because Neem said, before we got to mine, she said she bet that mine was Encore because I kept saying how much. But I love Encore and the retrospective deck so much now. I don't even think about Ciro Marchetti not being my type. Like, it didn't even dawn on me to pick that because I just love those decks so much.
Yeah. Right, our seventh date. I think we will be running a little late, but it's okay because 3 of us doing war. So if you break it down on 3 people, you're getting at once. Right, so the seventh date is the I may have to delete your number date. The one that really didn't work, but you still haven't broken up with yet. What's stopping you, Mendy?
It's the Efflorescent Tarot. And this deck has a gorgeous artwork. It does. Unfortunately, I have the latest version, the newest one, which is on the kind of shiny plasticky cardstock, which doesn't bother me. I don't have a problem with shiny cards, and it doesn't stick together. That's not a problem. But everyone in this deck looks so sad. Let me get to some people. Everyone in this deck is melancholy. And I trimmed it. So Boho Tarot? Is that Dawn Michelle's channel? Yeah, I drew a blank. Look how sad these people look. Boho Tarot did a video on trimming this because I wasn't sure if it could be trimmed because of the cardstock. And she did it. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and try it. And I did it. And I do like it better trimmed because it's easier. They were really big borders on it. And these are the backs. It's really pretty. But I have tried to read with this deck, and it just feels sad to me. I mean, it might be, I don't know, maybe for some sort of grief work, but I haven't been able to give it up yet because it is beautiful, but I just don't know that I'm ever going to be able to read with it. It's just so sad. Yeah, Jillie says her daughter calls this the sad deck, and it is. It kind of makes me sad to look at these melancholy characters in this deck. So,
so mine's what is this again? Delete your number. Mine's is the Witches Tarot, the Dugan Witches Tarot. I don't have the box, but I've got the book. It's this one. In theory, right, on paper, if you were to kind of write a description of this deck, I should love it. It should be totally my kind of deck. These are the backs. It's like this kind of almost photograph. I don't know if it's photographic, but it's like artistic, realistic art. It's very, very RWS. The images are really nice. It's very vibrant and colourful. I should like this deck, but I just don't want to pick it up and read with it. In fact, this has got reversals in it. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't tell you when the last time was that I've read with reversals. Like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I've not got rid of it. I think the reason I've not got rid of it is because in theory it should be so great for me, but also I've been thinking lately, like, what if I trim it down to just the images? Like, then would I maybe like it more and maybe have more of a tendency to use it? I don't know. But yeah, for me, that this is definitely the one. I mean, the images are stunning. Like, look at that for the Five of Swords. It's really, really nice. I just don't know what it is. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. Hello, Trisha. Welcome to our chat. I don't think I've seen you before here on my channel. Welcome. Right. So for me, I may have to delete your number date is the carnival at the end of the world. What's stopping me to break up with this deck? Well, to begin with, the cardstock, because the cardstock is the same as Pagan Otherworlds and the Playful Heart Tarot, the box. But and I don't know, this one, it still creeps me out in some way, right? It's one of probably why, because I'm not very much into creepy decks, but this one is a little bit creepy. But again, I got the guidebook, and it's the readings I've had with it were so deep and spot on. But yeah, so that's probably what's stopping me, because the readings have been wonderful. The cardstock is delicious. I really love the backs, and I love the concept of the deck. This one is the Carnival at the End of the World by Madame Lulu Presents. So Carnival at the End of the World, that's the one. Yeah. And again, it's very unfamiliar, right? We have extra cards there. We have Dr. Folk, Madame Lulu cards here. So that's why it's more, yeah. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it or, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you saw the comment, Mascha. Lucy says she's happy to take it off your hands.
I know, Lucy, I know. But that's why I'm like, do I not? Because the readings, when I ever pull out 3 cards, it's like, wow, and look at the guidebook, it just, wow. But again, it doesn't really fit into how I read tarot. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, hence I may have to delete your number date for me. And next one is Forever Love, True Love. Okay, this might be one of the favorites on the favorite lists. I'm curious and couldn't resist. That's Candy's question. So our Forever Love and a True Love. Yeah, you can go, Mindy.
Me? My turn? I had to go with my Marcella because this is just my favorite deck of all time. I love this deck so very much. I mean, it's just show it a million times. I don't have anything else to say, but this is my true love. This is my #1 favorite deck. Just, it's the perfect Tarot de Marseille to me, in my mind. I love, look at the devil.
I agree with you on this one.
I love the colors. I love the feel of it. I love the cardstock. I love the backs. I love the size. Everything about this deck just makes me happy. And it's like the absolute opposite effect of the Efflorescent Tarot. I pull this deck out and it just makes me happy and smile. So.
Yeah. Simon's saying tough one. Yeah. So what's yours? What's your Forever Love, Chris?
Mine is the Lightseers. It's got to be. I just love it. love everything about it. There's not a single card in it that maybe the Hermit, but even at that, it's still a really good card. I've edged it in green. Borderless. I love the way the titles are kind of written on in Chris Ann's handwriting. I love the use of colour. I love our style of art. I love the depictions. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I just like the interpretations. I love the website with the full descriptions of the cards and the interpretations that she gives. I just love absolutely everything about this. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Always will.
Yeah, and Chris Ann is wonderful as well. She's got such beautiful energy, and she puts so much love into her decks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Kristen is saying she hasn't met her true love yet. Of the ones she has is Darkness of Light. She thinks it is. Well, it's my most recent deck, Darkness of Light. Yeah. Well, my forever love, and again, it just depending whether we talk about forever love from 2020, from the decks that I received, or forever love. And again, I'm not going to show it again. My forever love is the same as Mendy's, and this is Pablo Robledo's Marcella Terra. And again, going back to Simon's tag, Snog Marry Avoid, that's the deck I'm married to. So that's my long-term relationship. It's not going anywhere, but Mendy has shown some cards. But I've had this deck. It was my second Marseille deck that I got in 2016. So yeah, I've had this deck for a while, and yeah, it's forever love. But when it comes to my decks for forever love of 2020, it has to be my little Heriter. Yeah, surprise! If you're new to my channel, you might be surprised. But if you watched a couple of my videos, like, you probably don't want me to show the cards, because I'm pretty much every live I do, I show you the cards. But I really love it. Again, it's by reproduced, recreated by Yves Renoir, and the cards are tiny and small. They're the backs.
This was almost my blind date deck, so it was. This was gifted to me, and then I didn't know who it was gifted by. It was like sent to a friend who then sent it to me, and it was like one of the first Marseilles. You heard what I said about the Grimaud deck, pretty much the same script with this. I never liked small cards, never loved small cards. I never liked pointy cards, never loved pointy cards. I just love this deck as well. It's amazing.
I would. Look at the devil. How can you not like this devil? Hairy, sweet devil. And the magician has the dice on the table. And yes, it's a perfect size for me too, Sean. Yeah, I just adore it. That's my true love of 2020. So I have a few true loves, really. But Marcella and this one are big standouts. Next one, we've got 2 more to go. We're almost there. The Stormy on and off date. The one you can't stay away from, equal parts passion, lust, and fighting. The one you have to have a break from, but can't stay away from either. So which one is the stormy on and off date for you, Chris?
Mine's is, you caught me unprepared there, Shadowlands. So I got this one, it was like all the rage at the time. And yeah, I don't know what it is, like it just, sorry, I'm trying to pull it out to show you some images from it. So it's got this lovely gold gilding. These are the backs. It is a really kind of fun deck. It's borderless. It's got really kind of unique, interesting art. The creator, Monika Badirsky, when she's written the guidebook, she's obviously put a lot of thought into being, diverse, inclusive. The language that she uses. Some of the characters are described as he, she. Some are described as they. It's all round. It's a really kind of nice, considerate deck. When it comes to reading with it, sometimes I get really good kind of like really good readings with it, and this was the first deck that I ever read for Simon with. I remember weird things, by the way, and that's one of the things that I remember. So it's a very special deck, but there are some times when I read with it and I'm just like, what are you even saying to me? Are you even trying to tell me anything, or are you just away in a world of your own? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those ones where it is very stormy, it is very on and off. So yeah, I love that. This always makes me think of Hermione Granger. So yeah, the Shadowlands for me.
And for you, Mendy?
For me, it is my Stella Tarot. And this deck has such a weird vibe for me. And I really love it. I do. But I can only take it in small doses because I don't know. There's just something about this deck when I read with it. It is, you're big, Mascha.
So make you big. I was supposed to answer the comments. I don't know. Exit solo screen. Make me.
I would say you show it, but you don't have to tell it, girl. This is one deck I have that Mascha doesn't. This deck is, it's weird, the type of readings that I get from this deck. They're very, very honest. They're very, very blunt. It almost feels like this deck makes fun of me when I read with it. Like, I feel like I'm being mocked when I read with this deck in a really upfront and honest way, but I can only take it in small doses. And I never, ever read for other people with this deck because I'm kind of afraid of what kind of messages I will have to pass on. But I love it, but it is a very stormy relationship I have with this deck. Yes, Kathy Carr says the Stella is ballsy. It is. You wouldn't think it because it has such kind of soft colors and the art is kind of whimsical. So you wouldn't think it was that way, but it just hits you over the head with a sledgehammer when you use it.
Yeah, I still don't have it, but I actually wanted to get it, but because Japan hasn't been shipping to Australia for like forever, I never ended up getting it in 2020. Well, my stormy on and off is an Oracle deck, and I've had it before, and then it kind of was stormy off, right? And then I had to repurchase it, and this is the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud, and yeah, it's. I feel the same thing about this deck. What you feel is quite similar, Mendy, about Stella Tarot. It reads very powerfully and strongly for me. And yeah, so sometimes I storm off because those fairies, they're not those kind of, the rainbow and unicorns type of fairies. But I do love the energy of this deck as well. And I mean, I can't live without it now because I'm not a big fan of oracles. As you know, I don't have many oracles. I don't buy oracles very often. But this oracle, there is something deep and special about it. So I do need to take breaks from it. The guidebook, by the way, it's quite a substantial guidebook. It's hardcover. It's amazing as well. But while I do have to take breaks from this deck, I get pulled to it again and again. So that's the one for me. And Ginger Faye, you love Brian Froud.
Yeah, I love his art too. I don't have any Brian Froud decks, and I've been looking at them off and on because I love the art, but I'm not sure which one I want.
Yeah, you see, I don't have any fairy decks anymore apart from this one. Yeah, so that's, but I do love it. I love it, but again, I need to take breaks from it because sometimes the readings, they get a little intense. And Jonathan, you got this deck for 25 cents. It was, wow. It was out of print for a little while, but now it's back in print and it's like, something like 20-something Australian dollars, which is really very inexpensive. And our last category, we're coming to our last category, and the last category is the friends with benefits date, who you can run to without commitment whenever you just have a need for them. The one who always just slots right back in like you've never been apart. So which one is your friend with benefits, Mendy?
My RWS. And this is a deck because it's just so familiar and I'm so comfortable with it. I don't read with RWS often anymore, but it's a deck I can always just pick up and read with and feel comfortable. And having this particular copy, this Blushing Fool copy, it's really, it feels, even though I just received this Blushing Fool copy, did I get this year or last year? I can't even remember. I mean, 2020 or 2019. I can't even remember anymore. But the imagery is just so familiar that it really does feel like an old friend. And I don't feel guilty for letting it sit for months at a time, because I read for so many years with nothing but the RWS. But I can pick it up, and it's like just picking up the phone and calling an old friend, and being very comfortable and feeling like you just picked up where you left off. So it would definitely be the RWS for me. Really any RWS, but this is my favorite.
Yeah, I love this one too. Yeah. And what is your friend with benefits deck date, Chris?
Mine's is the Everyday Enchantment. Now, don't get me wrong, when I use this a lot, do you know what I mean? Like, I go through spells of using this a hell of a lot. In some ways, sometimes I feel as though it's the deck that's the most honest, it's the most authentic, truthful. What word am I trying to use? Like, it's the most accurate, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just so mine's is trimmed and it's edged in red. I just love it. It's like I can pick it up, I can have it sitting on a shelf for like a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and as soon as I pick it up, it's not like I've got this coldness because I've not worked with it in a while. It's just, you know, it's as if I've never even put the deck down out of my hands. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those decks that's always so warm, and I love reading with it. So yeah, definitely Everyday Enchantment, and I love everything about this deck. It's kind of like similar to what I was saying about Shadowlands. You know, Poppy Palin, who created it, she's had a lot of regard for, you know, she's thought of quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? She's thought of everything when she was creating this deck. She's, you know, equality, diversity, inclusion. I love her use of colour. I love her artwork. I'm holding up the same card for ages, which is not the point. I love the, you know, I'm not usually a one for borders. I like borderless decks. But I love that how the borders are colour coded. And see, to be honest with you, if these borders weren't colour coded, I would probably have trimmed off the bottom as well by now and just had the images. In fact, I'm thinking about getting a second copy of this deck and having it just the images on their own. But yeah, I love it. I love this 5 of Blades. As another thing about this deck, there's several cards that really kind of open up the meanings of the cards for me, and the 5 of Blades is one, you know. Before this, I always kind of had a very kind of base level, like the 5 of Blades is about defeat. And you can kind of spin a story from that, but pretty much it's about defeat. But it's like, this really opens it up. It's like, well, look, he's defeated, like he's won over these two, right? So they've been defeated, but then his ego has been defeated because like now he's got all their knives, he's got to chop 3 people's worth of vegetables all by himself. Do you know what I mean? His ego has completely defeated him and given him 3 times as much work. And before this card, I never really thought of that for the 5 of Swords, but now it's really kind of opened it up. There's so many cards in this deck where it does that for me. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, and I love how it's very everyday, right? It's very modern and relatable to the everyday activities. I've seen a few readings that you've done with this, and I absolutely love those. But very kind of, it just resonates, right? And you can see yourself in those cards, and you can see people in your life.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, Everyday Enchantment. I think everybody should have a copy of it.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, mine, I have many friends with benefits, but I went with like, I guess Candy's prompts probably the one that I received in 2021, and which one I can, you know, just pick up with, like have a relationship like I would have with an old friend. And it has to be Jean Dodal tarot. This one is the reproduction by Cartogram and it's manufactured. It's a cheaper, it's not the handcrafted one, it's a manufactured edition. I did post on Chris's group and Daily Balance Tarot and Simon's. Last night I was watching, I will just show you cards a little bit closer. I was watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the newest episode, the newest season part 4 is released, and Facsimile Dodal, particularly the one that is kept in the British Museum, that's the copy, was featured in the show, which was very exciting for me. And there are the bags. The cardstock is linen, and this is the deck I'm very familiar with, and this is a reproduction of 1701 Tarot de Marseille.
Is this a type 0, Mascha?
This is type 1.
Type 1, right.
Yeah, I can see the type 0 is the Noblet because it's kind of a little different, but Dodal and Payen, Jean-Pierre Payen and Jean Dodal, from my understanding, they're the only 2 type 1 decks that we know of. And Noblet is considered kind of type 1, when for me it's like slightly outside of type 1. But yeah, so that's my, I guess, probably biggest friend with benefits when it comes to my last year acquisitions. I'm just trying to exit myself from the solo. And Longman Tarot, I didn't say hello to you. Hello. But we're kind of finishing here now. So yeah, that's our VR to Candy Soul and Soil tag, dating the Tarot 2020. Once the video, once our live chat uploads, I will link Candy's channel and the prompts and Candy's video with this tag. I will link Mendy's and Chris's channel as well in the description of this live below. And any questions for us before we say our goodbyes?
I just want to say thanks to Candy for putting this together. Candy's such an amazing, lovely person. So she is, like, she's got such a warm energy whenever you watch any of her videos. And, whenever you're in the same chat as her, she always it's like greeting an old friend. So it is. So thanks for this, Candy. This was really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the tag is so much fun, and I hope Chris and Mendy, you had fun doing it. And yes, I second that. Candy is such a wonderful, warm person. And before we go, I also now it's here it's 10:22. We kind of went a little bit over an hour, but tomorrow the same time, which is 10 o'clock for me, which is 22 minutes before now. I just don't know time zone, so I don't even know what time it will be at Jillie's, but I will be on Jillie's channel tomorrow at Little Zen Crone, and that's 10 o'clock in the morning for me in Australian Eastern Standard Time. But if you click on Jillie's chat, the live is scheduled. I'm very excited. I will be there for wine and tarot with my lovely friend Jillie. And and I will be sharing with you then one of my favorite spreads as well as part of her live.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you, Candy. I agree with everything Chris said. Candy, amazing, amazing tag. Love it.
Excellent. And thank you so much, Chris and Mendy, for joining me for this live chat. I hope you had fun, and I hope everyone who joined us had a lot of fun as well. I once again want to wish very, very happy 2021 to everybody. May this year be safe and happy for all of us. And
thank you so much for having us, Mascha.
Yeah, thank you, Mascha.
And yeah, I'm sure I will have you again very soon in 2021 as part of my live musings as well. And anyone who wants to join my live musings chat, they will be pretty much every week, if I'm not teaching at about the same time, at the same time on my channel. So drop me a line. I will leave my details below as well, and we can chat. So yeah, thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Once again, Happy New Year. Thank you, Chris and Mendy. Much love to you all. Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.